What's up, homies? Welcome to No One's Homies, episode 31. This is our second one-shot conversation, if you're into the new format. We have the founder of Rope Flow Philippines here and some of his star pupils. This is Coach Arman Bahakan. And then we have Gio Goseco here. He's a huge Rope Flow influencer, and also, full disclosure, Faisal and my roommate in college. And we also have Rai Camarillo. This is my first time meeting him, so I can't tell you much about him, but he'll tell you about himself. Guys, why don't you introduce yourselves really quick to the homies?
All right, I guess I'll go first. So, sup homies? Well, in the rope flow world, we call them flomies. So your homies hopefully become our flomies. But yeah. So I'm here. I guess representing the rope flow community, and what I kind of did, basically for selfish reasons. So just kind of wanted to make my job easier as a physical therapist. Figured, you know what? Fix yourselves, grab a rope, and try to get your shoulder pain, back pain, neck pain, to go away, and it worked. So
it solves it.
And then it became some sort of a mental health strategy for people. It also became a artistic expression for people, and then for people who just want to hoard and collect stuff and consume stuff. One person bought like 6 ropes, so yeah. We're feeding some really innate needs here for the Filipino humans.
Dope. So dope. Thanks for that question.
Yeah.
Rai, what about you? You're the one that I know the least here. I've at least met Coach once.
Oh yeah?
Yeah, once only.
Once. Okay, so I'm Rai. You can call me Ray, or most people in Instagram call me Ray. But I usually go by the name Ryan.
Okay.
Yeah. So that's my usual nickname. But so
Mr. Comes.
Mr. Comes also.
That's his Instagram, actually.
MSTRCMZ.
Genius name.
Thank you, appreciate it. Among other things, I also have another moniker named Mr. Pothead.
Oh my
Halloween.
gosh, really? I wonder why they call you that.
But because also on Halloween, apart from obvious reasons, I was wearing a pothead, like literally a pot on my head.
Wow. I love
That's
it.
pretty smart.
He's into pottery.
Oh.
Yes.
I'm into baking.
Oh. Okay. Wow.
In the kiln.
Yeah. So yeah, I'm just one of those guys who really enjoys rope flow, and I'm also a yoga teacher.
Oh.
And yeah, and I live very near you.
Don't tell them where.
Whatever.
Let's not disclose that much now.
Yeah.
Quezon City.
Yep. Roundabout there.
Definitely.
Roundabout there.
In the moon. But yeah, and I also have a podcast.
What?
So, yeah, dude, so I hope you can,
Plug that shit right now.
it's called Namas Weird. NAMASWEIRD.
Okay.
So it's basically a salon style podcast. Deeply inspired by Duncan Trussell Family Hour.
Oh man.
So I love those kinds of stuff.
Man.
Yeah, dude. So yeah, hopefully we can do something somewhere in the future.
Yeah, hell yeah.
And also,
I have to consult Mark. We're partners, but I'd love to.
Yeah, dude.
I'd love to.
Yeah, so and I also do the thing that Gio does in his background.
That's boy, for those who can't see it.
Yeah. So
He's way better though, way better.
So I'm not gonna disclose too much, just so that you and I can get to know each other more in some other time.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Awesome. Okay, and Gio, last but definitely not the least, why don't you let the people know who you is?
Alright, so I'm Gio at Gio Functions in IG. You know me.
Yes, so natural.
Right now, I'm a medical clerk, an online.
Oh, nahulog.
Oh.
Okay, sorry, boss.
Sorry,
no.
boss.
Oh, there you go. Okay.
Yeah. I'm an online medical clerk. Which just means I have 2 more years in med school. And I got into rope flow
Flex.
because of Coach over here. And with the help of Fine and Andrew, of course.
Yeah.
And at first it just became a an expression thing, like something for movement exploration. But after researching on it, like especially the founder, David Weck, I saw like there's a lot of opportunity for, as what coach said, health benefits and health applications, because it's true, like the back pain, the body aches, it's a pandemic, everyone's suffering from it.
Right.
And the ropes are the miracle cure. No exaggeration though. There's the potential there.
This is a
Yeah.
dangerous blanket statement, but I love it.
Big
Make them
blanket
all.
statement.
Make all of the
Yeah,
blanket
man.
statements.
It's
here.
I'm gonna be like a pharmaceutical nightmare.
yeah, we're gonna
They're
tackle
gonna make
big
roast
pharma.
illegal, bro.
Yeah,
Yeah. No.
that's how we're gonna stick it
Careful,
to the power,
careful.
man. Yeah,
Wanna
but
be
yeah,
under the radar.
Yeah. Don't let them tax you.
Oh, but yo, I will have to just share like with what Gio and Armin said, because like a while ago I asked my mom to like, can you like massage my shoulders like because it feels kind of tight, and she was like, anong tight?
Nice, mom.
Anong tight? It's like wala kang kalamig-lamig eh. And I'm like, Mom, what do you mean? It's like, you haven't. It's not. Probably you're just tired. See, you've been rolling the ropes the whole day, ganyan. And I'm like, oh. So, but
Wow,
so
that's pretty
I have to say it, and I'm saying that story because this is the first time ever in my life that I have not had cold shoulder, like that lamig in the shoulders.
Really?
Yeah,
Oh
dude.
my god.
It's
And we were flowing the
crazy.
whole day.
Yeah, that's
then-
from like 3 p.m., right?
Yeah, man.
Actually,
going at it.
we started at BGC like since 9.
Oh my
Yeah,
god.
AM.
The whole day, you mean?
Yeah,
Straight
the
up,
whole day.
Literally the whole day. And like when on a very personal note, every time I do extensive like works using my shoulders, usually I would get like lamig here.
Yeah.
So this is like really something that
Yeah, that got me curious.
like just
Yeah.
blew my mind, and I kind of realized maybe it's because of the way that we move with the ropes that it actually becomes somewhat of a self massage.
Probably.
yeah, it's part of the form.
All right. So wait,
Yeah.
before we go more into this, I really want to hear more
Oh.
about this. I just want to do a little bit of housekeeping before we go straight into the conversation. So, for those of you who are listening right now, you might notice Mark's not here. He's been exhausted, so we just let him take a break first. And so that means my sound bites are going to be put in post production. So
Or we can
apologize
do
in
it
advance.
acapella, man.
Yeah, we've been trying to do it a cappella. It's not exactly working out. But yeah, just to let y'all know, Mark is fine. Everything's okay. We're still amicable. We didn't fight or break up. And other than that, yeah, please don't forget, if you are enjoying our content, just give us a good rating on Apple Podcasts and follow us on Spotify and like us on YouTube and like our videos on YouTube, whatever, you know it. And yeah, okay, cool. So let's just go into a quick vibe check. I just want to know everybody's general temperature emotionally and like in terms of life, not like your actual temperature, though that is relevant these days. How are you guys feeling today? You guys said that you've been flowing all day. That aside, I mean, you guys feeling tired? You guys feeling energized, loose? What? How you feeling? Anyone can go in whatever order.
Dude, I'm both.
Yeah, well,
I just have to put that. I just have to put it out there. I'm both. I'm tired, but I'm energized.
I see.
yeah.
Interesting.
I'm pretty much. I tried to take like a quick nap prior to this, and ended up watching season 4, episode 6 of Scorpion. And I'm like midway through that episode, I'm like, oh yeah, there's a podcast.
It happens.
So like, you know what I'm doing after the podcast.
Finishing the rest of that episode for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah. So far, me naman pretty good because I'm at a pretty chill rotation right now. So radio next, let's go. But yeah, I just have to say that moving really helped boost the mood, because you can. I'm already plugging it in, but when you're moving, like You can move when you're sad. You can move when you're angry. You can move when
Mhm.
you're happy, and no matter what mood you're in, you feel better at the end of it. I
Yeah.
can speak for the other two also because you're moving the whole day. You think it's work, but no, at the end of the day, yeah, you can see Ray's pretty energized.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. Thank you. Thank you for letting us know how you feel. I, on the other hand, am also feeling good. I was able to fit in a 10-kilometer bike today. That
Oh,
sounds long,
Nice.
but I live in a hilly village, and oh, I've given it away. But
in
um,
Quezon City.
in Quezon City,
More like Antipolo.
Thanks, coach. Thanks for the cover, guys. But yeah, it felt good. Biking is a new hobby I've picked up. I started biking with my dad, and it's a cool thing like
Cool.
to share with him. So yeah, I feel good. I'm a little tired. I also took a nap prior to this. Just gotta get the brain reset. And yeah, I've been studying a lot for the GMAT, so my brain's been pretty exhausted. But
Oh,
but
Good luck.
Yeah,
yeah,
man.
thank you.
Good
And I'm
luck.
just grinding. Studying is not my strong suit. I'll tell you that. Ask Gio. He lived with me for 4 years, man. He knows it's not exactly my
It's true.
strength, but I'm grinding. I'm grinding. I'm what you would call resilient.
Yes.
Anyway,
That's
all
what you
right.
need. That's what you need.
So let's go straight into it. You guys have already alluded to it a couple of times early in this conversation, but I want to know road flow. What's the story? What is road flow? Okay, let's assume we're talking to people who have never heard of road flow, which is impossible because we share like the the content of Fi and Jelly on our page, so people have seen it. But just to give the people an idea, not all our listeners like pay attention to our social media anyway. So what is rope flow?
Yeah, I think Coach can describe
Yeah.
this the best.
oh, all right. So, well, the short answer is watch Ray's YouTube.
Jesus. Jesus.
yeah,
That's
yeah,
helpful.
Shameless
Helpful.
plug.
yeah. So, yeah, he made like a really nice production, a YouTube production on what is rope flow. Basically sums it up in my opinion. But the way I kind of know rope flow and how I got into it was well, like I said, my background is physical therapy, and I'm always in the lookout for new and cool and effective ways to help people's body move, to prevent it from getting injured, as well as rehabilitating prior chronic or acute injury. Pain is a big thing, and I've gone around Instagram mostly. It's really mining some good ideas about different implements and procedures and strategies to help people move better. Mainly, like there's it's called functional range conditioning. There's stick mobility. There's a lot of sciencey stuff. But then I was following this chick. Her name's Venus. Really nice lady.
Great.
Ooh,
she,
interesting.
she was she
Good
was
description.
running. She was running with these egg shakers, right? Like
Yeah, yeah.
chaka, 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 chaka. Like what is that, right? Okay, can I say fuck? I guess I can say.
Yeah,
All right,
this is
so
a explicit content
all
podcast.
right, perfect, perfect. So I'm like, what the fuck was that, right? So and then I dove into it because she kind of referenced David Weck. So I went to David Weck's page and he was doing this maneuver with the rope where it's moving, but he's not jumping through it or over
Hmm.
it, skipping. And I'm like, what was that? It's like magic, right?
Magic.
And he termed it the dragon roll. So I went to his YouTube page, checked it out. It's like, wow, that's how it works. And then all these other patterns that emerged. And I just went at it as a fan. It's like, I guess, like a bored therapist trying to play
Hmm.
around.
Yeah, yeah.
So I was doing it on my own and with a jump rope, and it's like it's not working. So I looked for different kinds of rope implements to use. So experimented with different materials and started doing it more. And some people got curious. Then I met Fi and Ange, were at that time budding animal flow
Mm-hmm.
instructors, and they were also patients of mine. And
Oh, really? I didn't know that
yeah,
part.
yeah, well, it was like middle of them training the animal flow.
Yeah,
You
yeah.
know, they
Okay,
started having, you know, shoulder and those pain, like today
sure.
me. Pai's dad was a patient of mine also.
Okay.
So it was at that time where I kind of introduced them to rope flow, and they liked it. You know, we all liked it, and we jammed, and we invited more people. They would do it in at that time UFC gym, and people got curious, and then we had some classes, and then invited Gio along, and we did a focus in the Commerce Center, and it became some sort of a social thing. You know,
Mm-hmm.
became
Yeah.
somewhat of something
It's like a
shared
flow, yeah.
experience. Yeah,
Flow and move
and
together.
yes, so and it was great, and it was never my intention to make it into something as big as what it is right now. It was just me wanting to, you know, spend some time with good people, sharing like a movement experience, and that's what it was. In a nutshell, it's like, you know, a community of people gathering just to move better, and then it grew to this, and then you know all the social media exposure came, and mind you, I didn't even had, you know, like I was so inept with Instagram and social media. I didn't know what I was doing. I didn't know how to
Mm-hmm.
post. I didn't know what a story and a post was, the difference.
Uh-huh.
So, but you know, all these young people, the young ones, you know, helped me out.
Got you savvy.
Yes, old timer, and I'm not like editing and posting and
Awesome.
I think
doing
yeah,
hashtags. It's ridiculous. So yeah. So
we got
basically,
your back.
Roadflow really helped with my social media skills.
So that's what rope flow is. Okay.
Yes.
Basically,
That's
it's cardio
it's
coach
basically a
learning
social
social
media
media.
training tool.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yes, yes,
Okay.
and it's a
Yes.
case. It's a real a case study on how you could grow a business.
That makes so much sense now. Okay.
Actually,
No wonder I've gotten so
yeah.
good at social media.
Yeah, yeah, but kidding aside, it was just that. It was just getting people to move in a community where you know we have a
Amazing.
shared experience. So just feeling good and moving, and rope was the implement choice, and you know it was great. It was again expression, you know, of your personality, your artistic drives, and then your therapeutic thing, both mental and physical. And you know it's a good workout if you want to make it into a workout.
Hmm.
Yeah, basically what it is.
Awesome.
Yeah. So I think one of the catalysts for the popularity of rope flow was the pandemic, was the lockdown.
Mm.
Hmm.
Because once all the gyms closed, people were looking for different ways to work out, and jump rope was one of the things that really became popular.
Yeah, yeah. Because people
So
weren't allowed to run outside.
yeah, also right, no one was allowed out, no one could run, no one could bike. So the easiest cardio you could do was at home was jump rope,
Hmm.
and we kind of rode the wave of the
Yeah.
popularity of jump rope. It got to the point that some people were associating rope flow with jump rope, and that was one of the things that we wanted to fix through our social
Yeah,
media.
which was a misnomer.
Yeah,
Mm.
Your identity. Spot on.
That's interesting because it makes total sense, and it like observing how rope flow's grown. Yeah, it seems to be that it was people's like outlet to find a way like to work out at home. But it's cool because people seem to. It seems like the hump of wondering, like the confusion between jump rope and rope flow didn't last too long. Like it didn't take people too long to realize because I guess they saw the rope was thicker. What was it? When did you because coach, when we met previously, you said that your frequently asked questions aren't anymore about like what is rope flow. It's more about like where can I get a rope. So um
Yeah.
how did you get over that hump? What did you guys have to do to clear it up, and what were some of the questions people were asking you before you had cleared it up that this isn't a jump rope per se?
Yeah. So our first months of getting into the exposure of the rope flow practice was, how is it different from jump rope? Can I rope flow with a jump rope? And uh, my quick answer was, yeah, rope flow, you don't jump. Second was, which was the more digestible one, is you use more of your core and upper body to move the rope. But more
Okay.
so, to kind of move your body to move the rope,
Okay.
right? So versus, let's say, with a jump rope where you use the momentum of the rope and just kind of make it go faster, and there's a certain tempo to it,
Mm-hmm.
and there's a joint integrity requirement to it. There's a
I did not
cardio
know that.
requirement to it. Yeah, because when you jump, or any kind of jumping, it's a
There's
big
trauma.
impact on
Yeah.
your joints. Yeah. And what separated us very quickly was those people who A, can't jump yet, either from an injury or they have arthritis, and
Yeah.
B, people that have never jumped the rope but do want to do some kind of exercise.
Yeah.
So, and what we've done on a strategic level was, we just highlighted content of people posting or reposting them rope flowing versus, because we would get tagged by jump rope people, and I would just kind of not acknowledge that.
Yeah.
I'll
Yeah.
just say hi, hello, but then we just kind of highlighted the people who are doing rope flow, and that grew and snowballed into our identity where it is right now. That's kind of like the strategy for it. But I always say it's complementary. It's different but complementary,
Okay.
meaning there's a lot of rope flow movement patterns that you can use for jump rope, and then I don't stop people from jumping our rope implement.
Mm-hmm.
On a bigger scale, a lot of our contemporaries overseas would say, "Don't jump the rope," but I'll be like, "Why not? It's my damn rope."
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Right? I
Honestly.
can do whatever,
Yeah.
do whatever I want
Paid
with
for
it.
the damn
Yeah,
thing.
yeah, yeah. Quick answer
Yeah.
to that. So, but in principle, you would rather use your core and your spine and the upper body and find that rhythm and pattern, and then you
Mhm.
really enjoy all those patterns.
Yeah. Okay.
Right.
All right. So for Gio and Ray, how did you guys find yourselves, going down the rabbit hole per se of rope flow? Like, I for Gio, like one day I just saw, oh, he's trying out rope flow, and then I don't know, something happened. I blinked, and then he's doing all these like ninja moves with the rope already. I'm like, okay, wait. What
Yeah,
happened?
he
Um,
went to another level too.
So
so
yeah, I'm interested to hear your stories, guys.
so for me, part of the joy of moving with the rope was really the exploration. I think I got that from coach actually, to be able to really explore the kinds of movements you can do. And when you have a rope and you can't jump, it's surprising that there are actually a lot of moves that you can do. You just really have to be creative. Really, I took a deep dive with the
Mhm.
Weck method, to be honest, because that's where we got it from. So while we were trying to learn the moves by ourselves with coach's help, we found out that a lot of the information available is on YouTube.
Oh,
So
okay.
yeah, as in the Weck method is very generous. So even if you buy the rope, we also send those videos over. It's all on YouTube.
Mm-hmm.
And when he explains it, when David Weck, the actual founder, explains it, like the concept, the idea, that's when you know how to actually roll the rope. Because yeah, what coach was saying, you really need to activate your spine, you need to activate your abs, because that's how you maximize the rope. So it was for me trying to discover the best way to use the rope, and being able to flow with it came after learning about it. Because another popular saying from the Weckmethod or other rope flowers is that the rope is the ultimate teacher. Because if you get hit by the rope, you know you're not doing it right.
That's some Zen shit right there.
Yeah. So it's really the ultimate teacher, because if you pick up the rope, more likely than not, you are gonna get hit by it.
Yeah,
You're
bro, I'm
gonna try
getting whacked
to.
all the time.
Yeah.
Fucking
So
hurts too. Thing's heavy.
Yeah,
yeah,
the rite of passage.
it is. So you would know if you finally got it right when you're not getting hit, and that's when you really need to flex the right muscles, do the right movement pattern. And for me, I just got obsessed with getting it right. Or also, I'm motivated by not getting hit.
Yes.
So it's a
Good
great
motivator.
motivator. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Out of negative reinforcement.
Yes.
Yeah.
And then after getting the basic movement patterns, it's all about exploration there. It's all about the expression and finding different moves, because let's face it, some of the moves are really cool. So
Yeah.
even if it was invented for a functional purpose, it's still kind of cool to do some of the moves. It's also very satisfying to do
It has
the
like an
moves.
expression aspect to it. Yeah.
Mhm.
Yes.
There's a lot of entertainment aspect, especially for people who are watching it, and then for the
Uh-huh.
person that's doing it.
Yeah.
It's very entertaining. It's fun.
Yeah. I agree. I can't look away when I see your stuff on social media. Ray, what about you, bro? What was your story?
He's got a lot.
It's you just opened up a rabbit hole.
I think I asked for it.
All right, so for me, like I'm a frustrated artist. That's one. I'm also a frustrated scientist. I'm also a frustrated medical person, and I'm just basically a frustrated human.
I was gonna say, so you're just frustrated, bro.
Dude, I'm frustrated. No, but I mean, I find that kind of frustration is good because it actually motivates me to do something. Like, okay, come on, man, you gotta do something.
Yeah.
You know, okay, I get it because, like I said, I'm in the yoga. I'm in the yoga
World.
world. Yeah, so but
Universe.
I've had my love-hate relationship with yoga and with yoga basically. And so like 'cause I'm a frustrated medical practitioner because I graduated psych, and I actually love the whole concept of nutrition and like getting people healthy and stuff like that. And avoid or like if you can like avoid the disease instead of curing it, why not, right?
Prevention.
Yeah, but I didn't want to become a doctor and get stuck, in med school. Sorry, Gio, but
Shade,
for
shade,
for like
shade.
I really
for like a
don't.
long time, because I like you, bro. I kind of studying is not my strong suit. At least not in the tier of how education is right now. You know what I mean?
Oh,
Yeah,
that's a different podcast, right?
Altogether, I was gonna say like, wow, we could do a whole other show on that
Yeah,
altogether.
man. Yes, please. And I'm a frustrated scientist because I love science. I love everything that makes you think.
Yeah.
I'm also a frustrated philosopher. If we're gonna add the
Yeah, if we're gonna
Yeah.
tack it on there, might as well
Yeah.
throw it in the pot. Okay.
And then a frustrated artist because dude, I don't draw. I don't paint. I don't. I do music, but I don't really do music. I love music, but I don't do it. So I'm like, what's left for me? And so I got into flow arts, and even with that, I got frustrated. I mean, it's fun, boys, staff, and all of that. It's really fun. But then, seeing that, okay, there's so many moves, I can learn them, I get frustrated, and like, yeah. When I got a rope, and just having to plug, thank you, Coach Tony, for giving me my first rope. And it was through him, and he was so patient teaching me how to do it. At this point I haven't met Arman. I had no idea who Gio was. I had no idea who Fi and Andrew were.
Yeah.
And I had no idea that there was such a thing as a rope flow community in the Philippines or even in the world.
In the
I'd
world,
see-
yeah, for
yeah,
sure.
I'd see on Instagram Octo moves, and Rokas doing his thing, and I'm just like, okay, that looks cool, all right, but I don't think it's my thing.
Uh-huh.
So I got a rope, and dude, it humbled me. It humbled me so hard because for me, at first I was like, so it's like, okay, it looks simple enough. So it's
That's
simple
what you
enough.
think.
Yeah, man. Yeah. So
Everyone gets duped with that too.
yeah,
Yeah.
dude. So it was a
That's
very
why we
humbling
got so
experience.
successful.
It was such a humbling experience because after learning the like 4 basic moves, I told Tony, I was like, pare, I'm bored. Ito lang ba? I can't see anything else, online. And then next thing I know, I see he was like, dude, follow mo si boss, si Arman. Ganyan. So I was like, oh sige. I saw him doing the tandem sneak and I'm like, what the hell is a tandem sneak? So I was trying to figure it out and I couldn't. Until I actually met Arman and he was like, bro, you know how to do your underhand and your overhand sneak. And I'm like, yeah, it's just that. So you just transition from overhand to underhand in one side. And he showed me and I'm like, oh, whoa, that's oh my God. So, I mean, apart from that, it was from that point that I actually started, so there are other tricks that you can do. And if there aren't other tricks that you can do, then I guess you can make your own since there aren't a lot to learn.
Yeah.
So that kind of opened my mind, that opened my body and my heart to the practice itself. And so, long story, let's just cut it short so we have more time to talk about other things, about rope flow.
Lao is getting panis. Just kidding.
Yeah. So,
I'm joking. Go.
so again, like long story short, it brought a lot of my frustrations. Like it calmed my frustrations.
Okay.
Because one, as a frustrated artist, this was it. For me, at least right now, for me, I'm able to actually give myself entertainment. Na parang, wow, what's this move? Wow. And of course, there is that natural expression that you share with yourself and with those who are watching, even if it's just on social media, and even for those who aren't watching.
Yeah.
So like, as what Armin was saying in the YouTube video, which you can check out, I say it's a show. But apart from that, it's also other things, And then as a frustrated medical practitioner guy, I started learning more about how activating and the movements activate different muscles and how they relate to your internal organs and how they can actually help with wellness, not just physically, but also mentally, which then goes into the whole frustrated scientist thing that, because of that, we enter flow states. And I realized
Ray, I
yeah.
need to cut you. Tell them the story of when you were telling me that your bowel movements got better because of it.
Oh, yeah. Okay,
That's an interesting. You guys need to hear this.
During the start of the quarantine.
Wow, you're so like, what now?
Okay. I'm here for the ride. I'm here for the ride.
Like,
What happened?
During quarantine, man, I totally neglected my health. In the sense that I was like, man, when is this shit gonna end?
Yeah.
So I just kept binge eating whatever I wanted, and just boom. And then, when knowing myself, my bowels just really did not like it. I would go to the comfort room in a day probably like 5-6 times just because my body knows that it has a lot of shit inside of it, so it needs to shit it out.
It's gotta get out. It's gotta get out.
Yeah, man. So my body's really like every body is an intelligent thing. So it knows what it needs, it knows what it doesn't need, and we just force it to take what it wants. And I love the concept of your show about the consumption of things. So yeah, so our bodies know it, So, and then when I started rope flowing, dude, like I'm not even kidding. After probably a month or two, my bowel movements just started normalizing. It started normalizing. As in, like,
without changing your.
It is the miracle cure. Like,
not at all, dude. Not at all. And here's something very interesting. I have to research on this more, but based on what I've already come to know, because in rope flow you activate a lot of this, your lats, your latissimus dorsi, and there is a connection between your lats and your lymphatic system, which basically helps flush out toxins. And I was like, oh shit, that's why. Okay. But again, like, there's a lot more research to be done. But, parang just that kind of knowledge was like, well, it made sense. It made a lot of sense. So even up to now, my bowel movements are okay.
Heavenly.
But it also kind of it also, I guess, naturally brought me to be a bit more aware again of what I eat, what I
Mm-hmm.
consume.
Yeah.
You know, so there was that. There was that, and then now, it's just like, oh well, yeah, I'm taking care of more of my body again, and
Uh-huh.
it became a natural consequence of
Uh-huh.
it. Because it's like, oh fuck, man, if I don't take care of my body, I won't be able to do this, and this, and that.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, ganun
I'll
lang.
be I'll be wasting so much time in the days in the bathroom, like
Yeah, bro, like six
you only
hours
live
I'm on
one life.
Instagram.
You only
I'm
live
an
one
ins-
life.
yeah, man. Like, imagine being in the hour in the CR for one session of your like toilet flow, and you're on
Toilet flow, yeah.
Instagram, you're just browsing. You're like, di pa pala tapos to.
You
Ano ba
get your
yan?
legs are numb already. It's just like, oh
It's
god, it's the
happened.
worst.
Yeah.
That's the
It's
worst feeling.
happened. It's happened.
Um,
Yep.
I I like hearing this. I like hearing the health aspects, like especially these unexpected ones, because you expect you see people who are using it for a workout, like yeah, it'll be like some form of cardio and maybe some form of loosening up. But when you hear the other like tangential effects, I find those very more interesting. But I mean, obviously the bowel movement, that's chef's kiss. But I want to go back to something that Coach mentioned, like at the start of the show. You said that it became like a mental health thing, and I'm a huge advocate for mental health awareness. So I want to know what was it like discovering how it was affecting your mental state, or how you saw it affect other people's mental health.
All right. So, you know, part of the strength of our IG page is the engagement. So I do read their comments. I comment on their posts. I restory their stories. And what resonated multiple times was, especially for our female followers, the moms that are staying at home, or the moms that are working, is that they were in a lot of anxiety during the pandemic, um, until they found low flow. So it was a mixture of distraction, because it was an exercise. There was a awe and interest because it's new. But I think more so is, it was a type of movement activity. And note that I'm not saying an exercise.
Yeah,
Exercise are almost always very mindless. You just lift the weights up, bring it down. Okay,
yeah,
squat
yeah,
down and then stand up.
yeah, yeah.
Rope flowing takes a lot of brain power and focus. The fact that it needed focus took them away from what they're percolating in their head.
Mhm.
Anxiety, the fears, frustrations, and for that 1 hour, 30 minutes, they're trying to learn the pattern. They're in bliss because they're at the state where this is what they've told, the age that,
Yeah,
for an hour, I forget my problems. And that caused like a very positive vicious cycle of, all right, I want to do this again. You get this dopamine, fix on, I want to
Yeah.
do this again. I want to do it again, like later, like an hour later, like they'll post like rope flowing just before going to work, during lunch break. They would post like, all right, the kids are asleep, let me do 5 minutes. And it's nuts, and it's like, wow, you guys are way more obsessed than I ever was.
that's awesome. That's awesome.
Yeah, so yeah, I saw that it was resonating very well with people, and mind you, some of them on social media did admit that they diagnosed anxiety,
Yeah,
depression,
yeah,
and it did help them through these times. And I think another key thing with our low flow practice and our social media strategy was we really encouraged community development. So another, I guess, oxytocin dopamine response happening was them inviting other people to do it,
yeah.
them seeing their friends, their neighbors, their family
The
members
social
having
aspect.
fun
Right.
Yeah,
doing it, and then it becomes this, unseen connection, not just
yeah,
with the rope, but there's a
yeah,
hormone
yeah,
interaction. happening that it's intangible, but it's felt
Yeah.
and it's controlled. It's like you want to be happy, do the damn rope. You're
Yeah.
sad,
And
still
for
do the
sure,
rope.
social distance, yeah. You can't stay near somebody with a
Yeah,
rope. You
yeah,
can't stay
Exactly,
near someone with a rope.
dude.
Unless you're looking to
yeah,
get whipped, son.
Yeah,
yeah.
man.
Yeah, it's crazy because it filled that gap where IATF is like giving all these restrictions, and then here comes rope flow. Well, there's a little loophole here.
Yeah.
All right,
Yeah.
Matic,
try it out.
Genius. Genius.
Matic.
Yeah.
I love
Can
hearing
I
that.
can I just
Because
add also?
oh
Yes,
yeah, go
please.
ahead. Go ahead, G.
Yeah. So one other concrete way it can help with feelings of anxiety is, I guess, just a simple explanation of why we feel anxiety is because of imbalances of neurotransmitters
Mm-hmm.
such
Yes.
as adrenaline, right? The reason that's another reason why sometimes you feel anxiety when you drink coffee, right? You feel pumped. You feel like basically it's the fight or flight system in place.
Mm-hmm.
You feel anxieties if you wanna, yeah, the parasympathetic, you wanna fight or flight. And there's several studies showing that movement allows you to like in a way just to simplify things, to dissipate those feelings of wanting to fight or flight. So after that's why once you do the movement, or even while you're doing this movement, it's like you're addressing those neurotransmitters. Like, okay, I'm fighting, but you're not really fighting. You're just moving,
Yeah, yeah.
and at the end of it, you feel better because you were able to let the wave ride, and you feel better about it.
Yeah.
Oh,
And
that
it
makes
So,
sense.
down regulates that
Yes.
sympathetic nervous system
and something that I want to
by
add
using movement.
to what Gio said, because like for me as a psych major, and yes, you're so on point with the whole imbalance of the neurotransmitters, and that's what it. And I feel like that's what rope flow helps with balancing the neurotransmitters. Because a lot of our neurochemicals in our head, especially when we get in, because rope flow is challenging, right? And I'm sure we've kind of put that in place. It is challenging, but also at the same time, it is accessible. With enough
Yes.
patience and with actually, you don't really need a lot of patience or a lot of practice, and you will be able to get it. As long as you stay within that mindful state.
Yeah.
And so it's like it helps balance the neurochemicals in our brains, which also helps the neurotransmitters slowly, become a bit healthier again because the brain regenerates. So
Mm-hmm.
I believe that it is possible to actually regenerate the functions of our neurotransmitters.
Mm-hmm.
So giving yourself a bit of challenge, which is also easily accessible to your skill, having that balance allows that kind of like wave of, which Armin was saying, of bliss, but also at the same time that wave of mindfulness, because you have to be present as you're doing it. Every distraction will hit you
Yeah.
because you know you're doing
Yeah.
something wrong. Yeah.
Yeah.
So there is that.
I like the idea of mindfulness being like a fundamental factor in rope flow because it's something in animal flow that I learned, which is why I enjoy animal flow. Is because it's a brain exercise too, right? Like
Correct.
you have to be
Correct.
aware of what is engaged at what moment and controlling your body's momentum and whatever. And in terms of rope flow, I don't do it as much as I do animal flow, but I definitely feel that too, like the sense of having to pay attention to exactly like where my wrists are, where the rope is, how my shoulders are moving, where my balance is, and there's something to me about this is on a personal level, but I feel like it applies to most people. There's something about when you're present in anything, not just in exercise, but especially in exercise. But when you're present in anything and you're being mindful about what you're doing with it, there's a certain sense of satisfaction that you get that kind of relieves sensations of anxiety. And for me, like when I feel depressed too, anytime I feel depressed or feel anxious, what I do is I'm not diagnosed, by the way, but I know what it feels like. Like I've felt extreme sadness. So whenever I'm in those moments, what I try to do is just focus on something. And when I can focus on something and I can do it, there's just a sense of relief that I get after. I don't know if it what it's doing inside me on a biological level, like to my neurons, but I definitely feel a sense of satisfaction from plugging away, seeing something get done, and when I'm especially with something like rope flow or animal flow, when I'm doing that thing and it works, you hit the flow state, and then suddenly you feel
Yes.
like you're moving, like even if you're not moving that much in a certain direction, like, oh, I'm here, and I'm like prepared, I can, then you can start to improvise, so it's I can see how that would be great for somebody's mental health, especially in a time when we feel so stuck,
Yes.
because we can't go anywhere, we can't see people. And when we find ways to, get into that flow state and move in unique ways, because just standing up and walking, it's not enough anymore. It would have been enough if we were going to other places and changing like what we're seeing. But when
Yeah.
it comes to like doing these things, like these unique movements, I think we get a lot out of it, right?
Definitely.
Yeah, I agree 100%. Um, when you do something challenging, like animal flow or rope flow, you achieve like a certain pattern or movement, and there's a reward system happening in the brain. That's I wouldn't say addicting, but it is
Mm-hmm.
encouraging, to make you carry on the next task. And it doesn't take a lot of small wins to make you feel like, maybe I could conquer other things,
Mm-hmm.
other troubles, anxieties happening in my life, not just with health or fitness, but
Yeah.
like finances or relationships.
Yeah.
Right.
And people are looking for that. I mean, um, can you get it from pharmaceutical drugs, or recreational drugs? Can you get
Yeah.
it from food,
Yeah.
alcohol, maybe to some degree, but with rope flow or any kind of flow practice, there's really no side effect. You know,
Yeah.
can you
The side effects are
overdose?
you get stronger and healthier.
Yes,
the,
yes,
the
it's like
opposite,
a
the opposite of vices.
It's a
yes, it's
beneficial addiction.
yes, and it's like I totally believe that I'm at a point of my life that I'm not looking for a win-win situation. When
Yeah.
I engage in something, I look for a no-lose situation.
Yeah. Okay. I
Rope
like
flow
the way
is a
you put that.
zero loss situation,
Yeah, dude.
right?
I
If
like
you
that.
can't, if you can't buy a rope, goddamn, make a rope. It's a
Yeah.
rope,
It's a
right?
rope. It's a fucking rope.
Yes, you don't have to pay for classes. Look at YouTube, and
Yeah.
I think everyone in the planet has a cell phone and
Mm-hmm.
enough money to pay for data. But yeah, it's something accessible, non-threatening, and it's been working.
Mm-hmm.
We're still trying to figure out how, but we're getting a bunch of testimonials, gathering some data. We're trying to create like studies for it, but we just need a
Mm-hmm.
bigger sample size and a lot of people. So we need a lot of people to do it. And so far, I have not heard of any negative effects from the people that follow us or have tried it. Like zero, no
Yeah.
effect except for being hit. You
Yeah.
know,
But
yeah,
that's part of it. That's part of it.
yeah.
Like
That,
there's always growing pains. I'd rather that it hurts while I'm trying to get better than
Right.
you
yeah,
risk one giant hurt. Like
for
Mm.
sure, for
I
sure.
going into what you were talking about getting all like this positive feedback. What's it been like for you, especially coach, seeing the community grow like this and in such a positive way too? That must be like it must be a trip.
It is. I never fantasized in being, as social media influencer. I don't even know what
Mm-hmm.
that means, but um, even just using social media for that matter. and then here I am. I was just a consumer of content. Like, oh, this is interesting, this is entertaining. This looks fun, and that's about my, extent of my relationship with social media
Mm-hmm.
until I got this. So now we have a team. There are people who are actually doing a specific task.
Mm-hmm.
It's much like a business,
Mm-hmm.
and it is a business. We are a business now, and it grew to this big or bigger monstrosity that now I'm just learning to control. Uh, thank God I have like a great team in workflow, with Gio, Ray, Ryan, Ange, and we have my team in focus. I call them my rope bots. so, so impersonal, but they handle distributions and collection, but I'm going to need to change that name. But it's led by a lot of really good people who, like everyone else, needs extra income, during these times, and it
Yeah.
helped them a lot,
Yeah.
and not just them doing rope flow, but also like literally like financially,
Yeah.
because of people supporting our products, supporting our services, supporting our movement basically,
Mm-hmm.
and it's amazing. So now it turned into what was once a curiosity, uh, previous fun activity, and now it's like a real thing. It's like, damn, it's work. Like I was telling Anne, she was like, I looked at my cell phone. Average time on the cell phone, 6 hours a day.
It's wild.
That's
Yes, and
a
that's
lot.
including research, editing videos,
Messaging people.
replying to messages.
Yeah. Yeah.
I'm
Yeah.
like, damn, this is like more than 95 because I already have a 95.
Yeah.
Full
Yeah.
time
Yeah.
job.
Yeah, so that's kind of like it turned into it, and it's great because I'm so lucky. I've always had work, which I don't really, a career that I really like doing. I like being a physical therapist, I like being a strength and conditioning coach, and now I'm like doing this rope flow thing. It helped a lot of people. And hopefully, like people like you, will like help us spread the movement so that they can live the movement. Hashtag lead the movement.
Yeah. Get that branding in there.
Yeah.
Yeah, which I'm also learning right now.
I just want to say that our rope flow community is one of the best because they always post a lot. Like most of our growth now is organic,
Mm-hmm.
and they really get involved. Like I don't know, it's the first time that I'm always tagged in stories, tagged in posts, and it's really just fun to see how
Oh, we
how
lost it.
people. Hello. It's really fun to see how people grow and really like learn new tricks and really finally get the moves that they were struggling
Yeah.
to try and
Yes.
master.
Yes.
So it's a really supportive community because we just want to see everyone do better, to grow into the movement.
Yeah, and something to add to what Gio said as well, like the community itself, like yeah, it's so beautiful. Like grabe yung it's like they look to us for inspiration, but little do they know that they actually are the inspiration
Yes.
that we have to continue doing what we're
Yes.
doing.
Mm-hmm.
Because just by the very simple thing of like just posting and then tagging us and then us re-tagging them, I was like, wow, guys, we're doing something right.
Yeah.
So it's so great because it's an instant feedback, and it's something that actually really allows us to, yeah, again, like it's a motivation to keep going, and knowing that yeah, we're good, we're good.
Great,
Let's
great.
keep at it.
Tell them about that lady earlier, the one with two kids in the stroller. Tell them about that story.
Oh yeah. So this morning, so we went to BGC, right? We were supposed to have like a class. It didn't push through for some reasons. But then the one who
We'll leave it
organized
at
the organizer of that class still went and yeah did a class with us.
Okay.
And so as we were doing the class, normal thing, explaining da 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 da, and then there was this mom with her two kids, really, like they were still really young, and they were just within the area, and I guess we just caught it that they had an interest.
Uh-huh.
So at some point, we're like, hey, you want to try? And she was like, actually, yes, I do. So
Everybody wants to
Arman and
try
I-
the rope.
yeah, Armin and I were taking turns playing with the kids while we were teaching the mom. And so the mom was just like, whoa, okay, and she was a natural at it. And here's something that I want to point out. For some reason, women, when it comes to rope flow, or maybe I guess to any kind of flow practice, have a very, very, very wide learning curve. Like their learning curve is really quick. I don't know if it's for us men that there's something na parang, I don't know, the wire. I mean, it's
It's the monkey brain,
situational.
bro. It's
It's
the monkey brain.
situational. Yeah, dude.
Yeah.
But
No to boxing.
she got it. She got it really quickly, and her interest peaked. Like,
Mhm.
just boom. And she was like, okay, I'm going to get a rope.
Mhm.
And that was it.
Yeah.
And then after that, Armin can go ahead.
Yeah, so then and I kind of talked to her a little bit, and she already knew about rope flow, and she was already following
Oh,
us.
I
And
see.
what caught our eye, especially me, was like as she was walking, you know how you have your peripherals. I
Yeah, yeah.
mean, she had this look of, oh my God, you're like like seeing like a cute baby. Oh wow, what's this? So I felt that, and I go, dude, we need to engage with her because
Yeah,
I think she knows
yeah.
what we're doing and what we're about, and it's something that we kind of give back. It's something that we want to make sure that our presence is sincerely, and that I want people, we want people to know that we are active. We really want this to grow. It's too good to keep it in the box.
Yeah.
We want to do an unboxing. It's like, nope, it's out there. There's no more unboxing.
Right?
Right?
You should
Like,
keep doing
do the
like
roll.
actual unboxings though, because I find those to be very entertaining.
Yes,
Right?
I think we should. We need to have a box first.
Malaking
Because
bagay nga
before
pala yan sa unboxing.
yes. Well, it's sad because when we started, it was just me. Gotta tell you the story. It was just me and Banana, Coach Andrew. Actually, he's the reason why there is an IG page which goes, Coach Arman, you need to make an IG page, and I go, make an IG page. I just follow that thing. So I made an IG page, and then now what? Like make a post. Like made a post. Sure enough, people are asking about ropes, and then it went to the point where it reached like this major fitness influencer named Elena Darna, and then I got like 56 messages every freaking day, right? And then people were asking for ropes. So now, all right, now what? I'm gonna have to make the damn ropes. So
Mhm.
like we were up to like 2 months backlog because I can't
It's a
make them
lot.
fast enough. Right? Right? I was making them by hand, and I had to converse
Yeah.
like, where's our rope? We're ready to pay. We're gonna pay now. I don't want your money. Right? I don't want your money
I
yet.
need
I
your
want your
patience.
patience. I want your
Yeah.
patience.
I
Yes.
need your patience,
And it's
people.
like, and it goes, but what number am I in the waiting list? Like, 720. I'm sorry. All right, but if you want to be pushed up the waiting list, why don't you help me make the damn ropes? I like literally told people that.
And was it
So,
effective? I wonder, did anyone actually take you up on the offer to like help make the rope?
people said they wanted to, but of course, I
Yeah,
didn't want to
yeah.
come to the house. But at least the intention was there, and they really,
Mm-hmm.
yes, coach, I really want to give me some instructions. I'll make it for you. But it
Mm-hmm.
was very sweet. It was very sweet. So, yeah, those were the growing pains that me and my team, and then I taught Pi, and he started, teaching some people to, I think, some of his people at home, and we got efficient. Yeah.
Amazing.
Yep.
Amazing. Well,
That's nuts.
we're hitting the 1 hour mark, guys.
Oh,
Believe it or
really?
What?
not. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, time flies. The podcast always time flies. But the podcast always it goes to like an hour and we're like, damn, how did we get here so quick? But so it
That's
happens. How
good.
you know we're having a good conversation, right?
Yeah, man. Agree.
So before we wrap this up, I guess I just want to ask you guys, what are some things that you want people to know about rope flow? What are some things that you want? Oh, hi, Kitty. Hey
Oh,
there.
there was a trouble. That's strong.
Ray-
That's Stroggy. That's
Ray's
Stroggy the
like,
flow
I don't
cat.
have a cat.
Well, he's on something.
Are you sure? I mean, you guys
We
are
all
seeing
see
it
that,
too,
right?
right? You guys are
Y'all
on
see this too,
something
right?
too. You guys are on something too.
Yeah. So yeah. Any last messages that you guys have for the No One's Homies listeners to give them any ideas about rope flow? You can plug the pages and whatever later. I'll be linking them in the show notes anyway. But just your own idea, something that you took away from it, and maybe you want to let them know. Maybe we can start with Gio, then we'll go to Ray, then we'll go to Coach.
All right. So I think one of the most important things that people should know is that um, the health benefits of rope flow is all anecdotal right now. There's no hard evidence yet, so even me as a medical student, I don't endorse rope flow. But as what the founder says, you just have to try it out and see for yourself. Because Coach Arman was saying that there is no downside to the rope. We did have one person who got injured, but he was stretching
Just
incorrectly.
Franklin.
Yeah.
Yeah, the listeners know Franklin. He's been on the show. He's the founder of Jesus Juice. Dislocated his shoulder because he was
Stretching
You're
incorrectly
kidding. That's news to
with
me.
the rope.
dude.
So we
But
have-
it's his fault. Franklin is so accident prone. Like it's totally his fault, man.
Yeah.
All right.
We love you, Franklin. I know you listen.
love you, Franklin, man. We have one casualty. But
hey,
yeah.
hey, if you need therapy, I'll take care of you. All right, and
Got
stop
you.
telling people you got injured with rope flow.
He didn't. He doesn't. He doesn't. He always says, "I
Okay.
injured myself with the rope."
Okay.
I was like, "What happened?" He's like,
I
"I
was
was,
still
doing
thinking-
that stretch behind the back, but I pulled too hard." I was like, "Bruh, but you're not supposed to pull hard during that stretch anyway." Yeah. Okay. That's
go
actually
ahead.
very important to know, Gio.
Yeah.
And while he said
find
that
out
he
yourself,
doesn't
yeah.
endorse rope flow, he does endorse rope flow. You know what I mean? Like it's
The movement.
still-
yeah.
he's still- yeah,
not,
he's
not as a medicine or therapeutic device.
hear that, big
That's
pharma? We're
intervention.
staying out of your way.
For now.
Yes.
Yeah, so we're in our lane, bro.
Leave
Leave
us
us be. Leave us be. Leave us,
Yeah,
Keep us legal,
yeah.
son.
Yes, please.
Yeah, we're small fry.
Yes, please.
Yeah, that's great, G. Thank you. And Ray, what about you?
I guess something I just want to put out, like, yeah, pick up a rope, give it a shot. You have nothing to lose. You have everything to gain. Yeah.
All right,
Amen.
thank you. And Coach, any last words?
Yeah, pick up a rope. You have nothing to do.
I was like,
so
I was like,
confusing.
oh. It's like, did he hear? Did he hear Ray?
No, I mean, for me, I'll I kind of see it as so mababaw. It's just fun to do. That's all it is, and all the benefits, the testimonials that you've heard. I mean, it could happen to you. Again, I'm a physical therapist. I do use rope flow as an intervention for frozen shoulder scoliosis. That's within my scope of practice, and I still encourage you guys to see a professional physical therapist. But it's just an amazing tool, like anything. As far as people that are doing the rope flow, it's one thing I want to be clear of. It's not about the rope. This is really a big scam. It's about your body moving the rope. You're supposed to flow. People with the biggest success in rope flow are the ones that are not really thinking about it. They just do. They just act and become instinctual, then it becomes fun. And yeah, if you want more information about it, please follow us on Rope Flow PH, and for information about our testimonials and our products, follow us at Rope Flow PH store. And for our Facebook followers, we have Rope Flow Philippines. So please follow these pages, and of course individual pages of all our core group members. I, Ash, Ray, and then who else?
Yo.
Banana, Yanni. Yep. Me, Visual Explorer RX. And just give us a message. We will respond.
Dope. I'll be linking all of that stuff. I'll get some of the other accounts of your individual flowers, your flomies, and if you could,
Flomies.
we have a group chat. If you could send those over to me, I'll put those in the show link, and people can click on those links, and you can go there. And I think we get like good stuff if you click on links from our show notes. Maybe I don't even know. That could be false. But thank you so much for joining me, guys. I really wish Mark was here. Mark is a rope flow guy. He joins them in the park. I don't know if you've met him yet.
Yeah.
But he loves rope flow, and he's not really like a flow guy. Like he's more of a tennis and rock climbing guy, but he loves rope flow. He enjoys it. So I really wish he
Yeah.
could have been here for this conversation, but rest up, homie. Once again, thank you, Gio. Thank you, Coach Arman. Thank
Thanks
you,
so
Ray.
much.
And
Thank you.
thank you, homies, for listening. Remember, like the page, like the video if you're watching on YouTube, and share us. You know, word of mouth goes a long way. Shout out to all of our loyal listeners always. Michael, Jomo, thank you guys for always talking about us and sharing us. And yeah, love you guys. For No One's Homies and for Mark, this is Clau. Peace out. We're just gonna wait it out and pretend like we hear the background music now, okay? Because
I like it.
I don't actually know how long we're supposed to wait, but we'll just keep going.
Bro,
Right, take
listening
it
to
out.
different stuff.
I'm gonna give it another like 10 seconds.
This is it, man. That's it.
All right.
Yeah.
Ray's song is
Okay.
enough. That's all we need.
That's the outro.
It's the
I'm gonna
exit
stop
song.
the recording now. 3, 2,